Yo, what's up, everyone? I just want to say that you could not pay me £1 million to do steroids. I value my health more than anything, because without health, what do you have? Oftentimes, people go on these steroids thinking it's going to make them more attractive or make them feel better about themselves, but oftentimes they continue to compare themselves to bigger and bigger people and constantly feel small despite having a top 1% or even top 0.1% physique. So you have to learn to have confidence in yourself without comparing yourselves to other people. What I would recommend is just focus on you, forget about what other people are doing, look at where you come from, look at where you're at now, and you're like, oh wow, I've actually grown. So this can help you with your self-image. I would recommend cybernetics if you have self-image issues where you're feeling skinny, but even though you're not. I've had like struggles with this. I'm a tall guy. I've always kind of looked lanky. I've started to fill out because I've been training and trying to build muscle. It's been a bit tough because I have to like eat so much food, but I just wouldn't want to do steroids because I know that there's a lot of potential harms. Like you could potentially become infertile, for example. Not to mention that it causes heart problems. You can end up shortening your life. You can get cancers, all sorts of problems from taking these exogenous hormones. It's just not worth it. Unless you're a Mr. Olympia athlete, but I'm like, why would you even want to do that? Why would you want to get a Mr. Olympia title just so that you can die 2 years later or something? Because that often happens. And it's not just the steroids with these people. They do other stuff like diuretics, which are quite dangerous actually. All the stimulants they put in their body, constantly revved up on caffeine. And I don't even do that stuff. I don't even do caffeine. Like I just don't see a point in doing that. It's just not worth it for me. I just think it's not healthy to be putting all these stimulants and hormones in your body. Like it's just I don't know. It doesn't make any sense to me. Like you're just gonna end up probably becoming. You're probably gonna affect your endurance, because the problem is if you put too much muscle on, then what are you actually good for? Like yeah, you're gonna be stronger, but you're carrying all this kind of weight around, and a lot of these people like. You get these big bodybuilders, and just by talking, you can hear them struggling to breathe. It's like, why would anyone want to get to that kind of point? Just be healthy. You want to probably do a bit of cardio in with your training, but if all you focus on is building muscle, then you're going to be taking these steroids, which are messing your heart up, and you're probably not even going to be doing cardio. You're just going to be really just like creating a recipe for disaster with your health. Like you really want to just focus on your health is the main thing, I would say. Like you shouldn't be trying to impress other people. Like you should just be, as long as you're happy with what you've got, screw everybody else. If someone wants to think you're small, that's because they probably because they've got warped perceptions of what a fit, strong looking guy looks like, because they keep seeing these inflated physiques on social media. Like for example, a mid physique now would be like someone who's reached the natural potential, or even to a point where they're taking steroids and they're very, very lean at the same time. They're literally like top 1%, and apparently that is a mid physique, according to a lot of people on social media now, because they're constantly bombarded with unrealistic physiques that are either very good genetics or only achievable through steroids. Now, you can get a really good physique naturally if you really put the time into it. For most people, like, you can, it's going to take a lot of sacrifice, but yeah, if you really want to like get like pretty big, that is something that you could do, but like a lot of them will just do it to take shortcuts. They're not willing to struggle to get there. Like, they're just gonna like, yeah, it's like, okay, well, I can just hop on this and I don't really have to train as intensely, because I'm like, well, I'm giving my body all these hormones, so it's not gonna take as much to stimulate muscle growth, and I'm gonna keep getting stronger anyway, and I'm gonna get bigger anyway. So, but you've got to think about all the downsides. A lot of people end up with gyno. A lot of people, and also you end up with shrunk balls. Your natural testosterone goes down because you're putting all this exogenous testosterone in your body. So then depends on the type of steroids you're taking, but a lot of people end up with shrunk balls, and they could become infertile. Like, they're just, that, you know, if they do come off it, then they're going to be on TRT for the rest of their life. Like, you got to think about these things, because once you start doing it, then it's like the damage is already done at that point, and some things you just can't reverse. Now, yeah, you can have your gyno taken out, but like, is that something that you really want to be having to worry about? There is things you could do, I guess, to counter that, but then those drugs may also have bad health consequences as well, and it's just, I understand that there might be a very small percentage of people who maybe they do need to take something to start growing. Like, there's this guy, Jack's Fitness, and people have been arguing about whether he should be taking the stuff that he's taking. He's been really struggling to grow. Maybe he's just not been pushing himself hard enough. I don't know, but some people, you know, there's very few people out there that would actually need to take this kind of stuff. You know, if you dial your sleep, your diet, your training, and being in a good environment without loads of toxins and stuff, then you should be fine for the most part. Like, even if you've got below average genetics, you can still get a way above average physique if you actually really kind of train hard and do everything right. I mean, you shouldn't have to be taking steroids. You've just got to learn to embrace the process. Try to find exercises that you enjoy. And for some people, it might not be just about going to the gym every day. You could find things like doing things like rock climbing and doing other things, even, you know, riding your bike up a steep hill or something. Just find something that you can do that you enjoy. You know, that is gonna get you fit. And yeah, it's like, you're not going to be trying to be like some professional bodybuilder probably, so find a workout routine that you enjoy, something that you can stick with for the long run. You know, maybe even incorporate sprints in. Great for building fast twitch muscle fibers. Even swimming can be good if you're a beginner. Like, you can build some muscle doing that. You might not get huge, but it can be a good thing to complement your training. You're getting some cardio in. So yeah, hope everyone's well. Yeah, I would never take steroids. There's no incentive for me to do it, and there's a whole lot of downsides. And not to mention that the like how the, you know, the like the tendons and ligaments, they don't grow as fast as the muscles when you're on steroids, because I don't know how, I can't like explain it all, but it's just been hearing a lot of experts like talking about that as that's another downside, and you're more likely to get injured. And you see a lot of people on the steroids and they're lifting these really heavy weights, and they're getting themselves injured, getting pec tears, all sorts of stuff. Of course, you can avoid it if you don't like go so heavy, but it's like a lot of these people will get very kind of like tempted to go really heavy because they've got all this like testosterone in their body. They really want to go super hard, and then they get carried away, and then they then end up getting injured. So yeah, and it can also make you more aggressive. There's people like for example, Dr. Mike. I mean, he's an extreme example, but he's talked about how he got really quite aggressive with it, and he has to really take some like nootropics to help out with that, to help it, to calm his brain down. And yeah, it's just gonna end up on lots of like counter medication to counter all the negatives. A lot of them end up on blood pressure medication to try and counter the high blood pressure. So yeah, so much for health and fitness. A lot of these people are on stuff to counter it, or like there's some kind of obese, unhealthy diabetic person who has to take a bunch of medication. I kind of see it as like these competitive bodybuilders, they get to a point where their health is like similar to that of a morbidly obese person. I actually made a poll where I was like comparing the two, and because you cannot be healthy at that point. Not to mention a lot of them, because they're pounding so much heavy weight, they end up injured in the long run. They oftentimes have back problems and joint issues. So I would just say stay natural, but people will do what they'll do. So yeah, I'm not telling people what they should do, but I'm just talking about what I will do. And if I do change my mind, then call me out on it. Say that I'm not a man of my word, but you'll see, I will not be taking any of that stuff. So yeah, I continue to see how far I can take myself naturally. And that's another thing. Well, these people don't see how far they can take themselves naturally. They don't even know what they're capable of. And sometimes they start to get to a plateau, and then maybe they could have changed up the training a bit and then continue to see progress even for years after that. Take Jeffrey versus Schofield, for example. He's a big guy, natural, and people are questioning him on it, but I do think that he's genuine. There's a lot of people out there like him that are, there's a few others, Bold Omni Man, there's Alex Leonidas, there's, what other ones? There's, what's the other one called? Natural hypertrophy. These guys are huge, and they're all natural. So, and they've been training for a very long time, so they've got to that status of what they call noble natty. So you can get a pretty big physique like naturally if you take the time. You're not like constantly trying to get to like super low body fat, because that can slow down your gains. So yeah, try to stay around a healthy body fat percentage most of the time, and just, yeah. Anyway, all right, let me know what you guys think. I will see you all in the next one. All right, peace out. Bye.